You've out-goggled me. I look like Steve-O.
These are very much needed.
Very much needed, yeah. They're your koi carpers. Huh?
Yeah, my Ernesto Fonseca signature series Oakley's.
Yeah. Hopefully these keep working because it just beeped in my ear.
I heard a beep.
A little beep. Let's see if it works. They should work. I turned them off after last time. I didn't have a chance to charge them up because all my chargers were busy charging things.
I literally, just before you came on, I thought of a subject and I got up to get it on the board and then it said, Matthew West is waiting. I was like,
yeah,
look at it. And then
I was ready for you.
And then I forgot the subject and then I've just remembered the subject.
Yes.
So.
Yes, please. What's that? 0%?
Yeah, no, 0%. 0.0.
Oh, the CBDs are available.
Yeah, I need to find mine because my knee is jacked. It was very sweet lemons on the go.
Get that in you, boy.
Get that sweet lemon fresh.
Sweet lemon in you. So I weigh 77 kilos now for some reason.
Yeah.
Bit disappointed about that. It's supposed to be going up.
A gentleman 77.
It's going down. That's welterweight weight limit. If I ever resume my fighting career again, which I won't. 155. 155? No.
Because you had a clean shave. Did that take a couple of
something
kilos
to do with it? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think maybe I didn't drink enough water. That's quite a lot, though, isn't it? Because I was like knocking on the door of 80.
That's a big shit for sure.
No, 77. That's a really big, yeah. That's a whopper. That's breaking out by his back flippers. That's not hanging on by his back flippers.
That's kicking the doors down.
Kicking the barn doors down. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed. Got on the scales tonight. I was going to train, but I've just messed up my whole routine immediately from the start of the week. I messed it up last week, and now I messed up this week. So I'm like completely messed it up. And now I can't even recover it in this week because I messed it up so much. Yes, please.
I'm a bit out of whack myself. I'm a bit out of just with my rehab stuff. I just knocked it on the head for deload week because my knee's just been sore. Not my new knee injury, my original knee injury. I think doing all these sort of pistol variations probably won't help that feel better short term. So I just wait for that to clear up a little bit and then I'll start back on it again. New injury gone, old injury back. Thank you very much. I'm all right at the moment. For some reason, the juggernaut magic. My elbows are all right.
Yeah. The only thing that's giving me a little bit of grief is like new knee pain. So I haven't ever had knee pain before. And then I did something a few weeks ago now. And I was walking down the stairs at work and I was like, that really hurts. And I think I'm not sure I'm going to be able to walk down the stairs. Can I walk up the stairs? Yes. Can I walk down the stairs? Not really. And then I was just hoping that it would go away, and it did. But ever since, it's just been a little bit nippy. And tomorrow I've got.
That's how I deal with my injuries.
Yeah, like, go away. Maybe it'll go away, and it did. I was like, okay, well, that's good.
So you're effectively the same as a cow then, because cows apparently can go upstairs but not down, just because the way that their knees and their legs.
Their knees bend backwards. So.
Yeah, so they can't get downstairs.
So they can't go down. Just trying to work out what they do.
They just stay upstairs then.
So they can go up. Why can't they go down? It doesn't make any sense.
I heard it in a Ricky Gervais stand-up routine called Animals.
Okay, I'll have to look into
a very long time ago.
Find out why.
And he's talking about having this cow upstairs, and he goes, right, come on then, down you go. And the cow goes, well, can't go downstairs, mate. Can't go down. And he goes, what are you talking about? My wife's going to be home in a minute.
I watched. Is it Humanity?
Yeah,
that's amazing. I can't. Nothing springs to mind right now. I'll have to rewatch it again.
It's funny.
And tell you my favourites out of that. But that's so good. One of my favourites of all time of stand-up comedy about animals is the Jimmy Carr cat with Smarties tubes on its legs to turn it into a robot.
Yeah,
skit. But I've ruined that now as well because I can't remember how that goes. Yeah. I'll have to watch that one too. That's good. I'm not a comedian. That much is true. There is no delivery.
You're not professional at this.
I'm not professional. There is no delivery.
Let's just get that disclaimer. Yeah, it's all about timing. Do you want me to tell you why I was wearing these glasses?
Yeah.
You didn't ask, but I'll tell you. I wasn't trying to one-up you on the goggles. My eyes, I could barely keep my eyes open. I finished work and was doing some weeding out of design. So I've taken some time-lapse video, some design weeding. And because I was staring at these designs and really trying to concentrate, because you've got to find the line in the light, and you have to like angle it and find the line. Because I spent so long doing that on some really complicated little designs, I think my eyes just tired my eyes out. And now I'm just like,
all little eyes, and they're just a bit sleepy.
Yeah,
I had an issue with trying to keep my eyes open when I got an infection in my eyes. Hopefully you haven't done that, because I was like, oh, I can't really keep my eyes open. And I tried to drive from Luton to the south coast of England with no contacts in, because the reason that I couldn't open my eyes was because I did have an infection that I didn't realize, and I'd left my contacts in overnight. It scratched my eye,
no.
and I woke up in the morning. I was like, oh shit, I can't open my eye. And I was like, oh, but shit, I've got to go to this. There was a party or something I had to go to, so I took the contacts out, tried to drive down, and literally couldn't keep my eyes open.
Oh,
got down there, and then managed to get through the night somehow with my eyes closed, I think, and then went to the hospital, like emergency, the next day, and they were like, yeah, you've got quite a bad infection in your eye. And it had scratched like the outer surface of my eye, and it got infected. It was like a sort of cross-hatching thing. And I said, okay, yeah. So thinking, oh well, okay, I've got an infection in my eye, big deal.
Yeah.
Like, give me whatever it is to fix it, and
penicillin, let's go.
And but basically what it was an injection in my eyeball. Have I told you this story before?
I think so.
So she's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to inject you in your eyeball. And I was like, oh, really, David? So she said, you jab me in the eye with this thing, which was pretty grim. And then for the next week, I think, I had to put eye drops in my eye every hour through the night and day. And I said to her, so, but this is it'll be okay. Yeah, it's going to recover. She's like, oh, we don't know. So, oh, good. So ever since then, I've been very, very careful with my contact lenses.
Yeah.
Be careful with them bad boys. Because it did get better, and I had to keep it in the fridge as well. So I had to keep the stuff in the fridge, and then every hour, night and day,
up and get out of the fridge.
Yeah, get up and get out of the fridge, which meant like I didn't sleep a whole night for a week, basically, because every hour I had to wake up. That wasn't cool.
I am so careful with my contact lenses that I have not taken them out of the drawer in about 4 years. That's how careful.
That's the carefulest way. That's the most careful way we can do it. And but apparently it's not uncommon, because a friend of mine also had that problem. She went wakeboarding with contact lenses in, fell in a lake, managed to get some sort of bug, sort of lake jizz bug behind her contact lens, scratched her eye, and then kept it in there like it was some sort of pig in a blanket. And her eye was messed up, man. It was like pufferfish eye, not one of these. So mine wasn't like that. I just couldn't open it. But it felt like basically like someone had been smoking it into my eye. It was almost so painful, really, really painful. But
so fresh,
okay. So fresh, so smoky.
Yeah, I decided one day that I didn't need to see everything that much, and then I just stopped wearing contact lenses.
Yeah, well, take the risk. Well, my glasses are better than my contact lenses by quite a lot, and I think that's quite common as well, isn't it? That you can get the lens performance better than the contact lens, because with glasses on, I can see like even more than 20/20, like 60/60 or whatever, like the ultra vision is. And when I put the contact lens in, it's okay, but I feel a little bit like off balance all the time with them in, because I think just the range is a little bit different. And then when I take them out, I can't see anything. I'm blind as a bat. I might as well be a human mole.
I was close to going back to contact lenses, but then they stopped making you wear face masks everywhere. So now whenever I go anywhere, my glasses don't steam up everywhere, because I'm not just breathing 100%. Directly into my glasses.
What we should have done was invested, when the mask came out, we should have invested in contact lenses and laser eye surgery. Because I imagine that went
Yeah.
Like I always even think about it again. I've only been thinking about it for 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years I've been thinking about it.
That's probably come on.
No, it's too late, probably. I think it's come on a lot, hasn't it? I think they were doing that weird little flap that they just cut with a blade, and that looked a bit sketchy. And now I think they can do it with a laser, and like they laser do a super thin flap, don't they? So it heals really quickly with a laser. And maybe they don't even do a flap anymore. Maybe they can just like.
Claire had it done. Can't remember how many years ago she had it done now.
Quite a while ago. No, that might be
a little while ago. Yeah,
at least 5. Isn't it?
But then she can now see far away, but her vision up close isn't as good.
Yeah, and I think that goes off over time as well, doesn't it? It's the close vision that goes in there, and then people like reading stuff like that. I can't read it. Yeah. I'm starting to have to do that now. That's how you can tell I'm old as a goat.
Yeah.
Give it one of them. What else? Vehicles are functioning. One little bike is rolling. That's good.
Bicycle or motorbike?
Bicycle. One little bicycle is rolling, but the big bicycle is not rolling, and it almost went for a trip out of the window because I thought I'd fixed it. Did I tell you this? That I crashed it, a little one, and then my like the gears wouldn't work anymore, and I was like, oh God, I couldn't work it out, and I thought, well, why is that?
There was the cable through the frame jobby.
Yeah, have I bent something? Have I done this? Have I done that? And then I thought, okay, it looked like it was just the cable hanging up inside the frame. So I thought, well, how do I change that? And I couldn't really work that out, but I wasn't really thinking very straight because I wasn't taking the time to actually look at it and work it out. So it took me like a day to work out, like, can I get this cable in and out of this frame? Pulled the inner cable out. After I pulled the inner cable out, because there's an inner and outer, then went on the internet to find that you should leave the inner in so you can use it as a guide to put the new outer in. But I'd already pulled it out, so that wasn't good. So then I pulled the outer out in disgust and then had to rethread the outer through the frame. And there's no guide or anything in the frame. You basically can't see anything. So I was like, oh God. Then I Googled it again and found out the trick to it, which is to start in the middle and you go up one way and down the other way. So that worked.
Yeah.
Then put the new cable in, which was sweet, adjusted it all. It worked. And then it reverted back to its previous non-shifting state. And that was when I nearly launched it out of the window.
Sweet.
But I stayed calm. And now I will take it to a bicycle shop.
Somebody who knows what they're doing.
I'm happy that I persevered with it to work out how to put the cable in the frame. But I think there's a problem with the shifter or with the derailleur. And I haven't got enough experience of those two bits on other things to know if the problem is there or not. So it just works sometimes and other times it doesn't work. And what's going on here?
When you go into the bike shop, you'll go, so this bike was broken and then I fixed it, but I fixed it broken. So now it's broken. It's fixed broken. Can you please fix it? Fix it.
It's
fix
more
my fix and the broken fix.
The outer's in the frame, the cable's in the frame, the shifter is on, the derailleur is on, everything is straight. It's just for some reason it doesn't release the gear down the block for some reason. So I don't know what that's about.
You know what you need, don't you?
But the little bike is running. Not new bike, probably.
Yeah. Brand new, spanking.
I was thinking about it. It just tires me out, man. Thinking, oh God, no, I'm going to do that. It's all right if once you know what to do, it's fine. Which is why I was happy that I just worked out how to do the internal routing and everything. I was thinking that's cool because next time I'm not going to have to do it. Because I went to the shop more because I just don't have loads of time to be working out how to do those things. So I took it to the shop and said, how much is it going to be to put a gear cable in this bike? And they were like, oh, €40. I was like, oh yeah, plus the cable. So it was like to put a cable in a bicycle was going to be €50. I was like, that's not €50 worth of operation. That's like 10 minutes. So I put it in and it still doesn't
know
work.
what you're doing.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but it was in the end, it was fine. It was easy, and now I know. So that's good. So that saved me those 50 every time in the future that I've got to put the cable in. But something else is not working in the system, and I'm not sure if it's the top or the bottom. So I will support my local bicycle shop and get them to shortcut it for me. Take it to the boys.
Pay them some money.
Get them to shortcut it for me. But the little bike's working, so that's good. And the motocross bike is now running again as well. So that's double sweet. And that went back together. But I had a big list of things to do. So I'm saying it's ready. So it's ready because I've rebuilt it and I put the new piston rings in it. And it sounds sweet. And it sounds like it's going to go full send mode.
Yeah.
But the list of things was piston ring, clutch, tyres, shock spring, then set the suspension up, and jetting, and I've just done the piston ring. So it will move under its own steam, but none of the other things on the list I've done yet. But they're easier than the piston rings, so that's good.
Okay.
So
you ate the frog.
It can move. Yeah, I did eat the frog actually. Yeah, I did eat the frog. I ate the frog, but now there's all these little frogs that I don't really want to eat. Yeah, and that was the same with all of those actually. All of those were like quite froggy.
Yeah,
the Kona was good. That was probably the smallest frog, and I did that first, and then I basically spent the whole day trying to do the Capra, and then it was more like a toad than a frog. So I like got a mouthful of it, like got a little nibble of it, and then.
Did you then sit down on the floor at what was 9 o'clock at night, look at it and go?
I was doing that periodically throughout the day, like when I was just on the verge of just like ripping it out of the bike frame and hustling it across the room, and I just be like,
yeah. I've had a couple of similar instances, not fixing stuff because I'm not very good at fixing stuff, but just doing stuff. I've been promising myself to do the review of the Metcon turbos. So I set it all up, I used the Westside barbell reverse hyper as like a table, and started recording, so started talking about the shoe. I was like, yeah. Had my list, had made my notes earlier on in the day, pros and cons, things I wanted to talk about, had that on there, showing the shoe, and then I walked around, like once I'd finished, I don't know, probably like 10, 12 minutes of just stuff that I'd obviously try and chop down, and then I walked around to the camera and the camera turned off. And I was just like, fuck.
Well, that was like
I watched it to the point at which it had stopped, and I was like, right, I need to go from there, but I didn't want to watch what I'd already said because I was too depressed to watch it back.
Too annoyed.
And then I literally just turned the light off in the garage and just walked out, and then I came back to it.
Just left it in there.
Probably about 3 days later, I thought, right, I'll pick it up, finish it off. And that's not the only thing that's happened to me with this phone with the camera on it today. When I was doing the time-lapse video of the weeding out 3 times. So I've got the camera set up all pro, had a light set on it so it could like record it, and I thought this would be good because people like to watch this sort of stuff. And it just stopped recording like after, I don't know, it was in time lapse, so it was like 5 times as fast. So I had like a minute and a half's worth of video, and it just stopped.
Did you say thanks?
But I didn't realize it stopped, so I weeded the whole design out. So it's like, that's one bullet gone. And then I like looked at it and I was like, oh God. So then I got the next one, I weeded it to the same point, started again. I thought, right, well, I'll finish it off now. And then I like finished that one, got to it, and it stopped at some point. I was like, you're joking me. And I was like, no, the next one's a different color, so that's not going to be very good for like what's the continuity. So I just gave up then. I was like, no, I ain't coming back to that.
When I watched that time lapse though on the story, I could just see the millions of hours and views flashing before my eyes.
Millions.
Yeah, millions and millions. That's cool, man. It looks good.
Yeah, it's
just
do
like it. Loads of those. What would be cool is if you could do it. So do the time lapse, but also do one where either it's a bit closer, which I don't know if it's possible, or when you go through the different steps, so you could basically see like a stop motion of the different stages of just the thing on its own. So you see all the video of you like weeding it out, and then at the end have a stop motion of like the first one with the completely filled in sheet, then like whatever section stage you do, stop motion, and then another one, and then another one. So you just would see it change. You know, like when people do those pictures of, I don't know, 5 years of their face or something like that, and you just see the thing, give it one of these, and it all changes. That'd be quite cool. Because what the cool bit is, I think, is where you can see the bit come out, isn't it? Or like really see the change, which you could see when you started doing the one going around the barbells and around the kettlebells and stuff. Then you could see like growing. But the other one, because you have to manipulate it quite a bit, and it's like a big step. You don't really see that big step.
And I've there's not much point filming the little vinyl cutter because you can't see what's going on in that.
Yeah, it doesn't cut, does it?
But I've done piece to the camera about the whole thing as well. So I was going to have that, and then have the time lapse going on. I'm going to film some of the printing, the actual pressing, sorry, not the printing as well, just so people can see what's going on if they want to have a little look behind the scenes. Yeah, hang on. Hello? What, this hoodie? Yeah, it's a new one. I'll tell it. Yeah, you can get it at www.garagebuildathlete.com. Yeah, okay, bye.
Yes, please. The orders just flowing in.
That's one.
Not high enough today. I didn't put my booster seat in.
Look at that. Look how minty that is. That's fresh.
That is minty fresh. It's so fresh that I can almost not see it on the screen.
It's like when you look at it.
Bright.
When you look at it, it's like you're not looking at a normal thing. To me, it's like something that's been photoshopped. It's cool. I like it.
Look a bit shoppy. Yeah, you can see my little muffo there.
Yeah, top of the muff.
Is that good or bad? What's that?
I don't know.
Podcast land. Is that good or bad? Look, that looks like a pro. I look like a pro.
Not like streamers. You can see their microphone because they have them on booms, don't they? So they're like that, and then you can hear them properly like this.
Hello.
Fresh. Is it, what's that stuff where people like chew into the microphone?
Fresh.
People pay a lot of money for that, don't they? Like
chewing into the microphone.
Yeah, like
you wouldn't. You'd kill somebody.
I wouldn't. Depends who it is, but probably not. Yeah, the closer you have it, the more you can hear. That's how microphones work.
Just going to kill somebody.
So yeah, you can get this. And I also, under this, I was testing out some stretch vinyl.
Where are you by Jigger? Oh, look at that. Look at that bad boy.
So that is, because the one I had some other vinyl on here, and it pulls. Can you see that? It pulls. Like you get, and I was trying to do something better with this one. And it's better, but it's not quite that. But you can, GBA all day. So that's one of my topics was how.
Hang on a sec. Hang on. Yeah. That's the GBA all day shirt. Yeah. No. If you want one, you just go to www.garagebuildathlete.com, like you said before.
No, tell him to pay me my money.
Oh, you pay his money. All right.
Punk ass bitch.
That's right.
Yeah, give me my money, man. So that was one of my topics, was how green this hoodie is.
It's very green.
Green, man.
It's so green, it's almost white.
I know, it's mental, isn't it? I'm looking at it thinking I can't quite get there. There you go.
I like that view.
That's cool. What, without the face?
Yeah, I can't see your face. Your face. Start waving them bad boys around. Danger. What else?
My other story, I don't know if you might not be able to see it. Where's my tongue?
It's there. It's definitely in your mouth. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I can see your tongue.
Anyway, I was trying to do some butterfly pull-ups on Saturday, so I didn't have a very good night sleep Friday, and I wanted to just go into the gym, have a nice sweaty workout, and then blow the cobwebs out and have a good weekend. And I did some training, and then I thought, right, I'm going to practice my butterfly pull-ups. And my biggest fear on butterfly pull-ups, which is the one where they just look like they're flopping about and everybody takes the piss because they just look like they're flopping about and they're not proper pull-ups, but it's just how you go fast in CrossFit. And
how you go fast at not real pull-ups.
Yeah. Just to get the reps in. And so my biggest fear is smashing my face off the pull-up bar, because as you come through the bar like that, like you're rowing like that. So I was like, right, I'll jump up, see if I can string some together. Bang! And I smashed my chin off the pull-up bar, and my tongue was obviously in the way of my teeth like that, and I just sliced through my tongue. I smashed my chin and I dropped down. And you like when you hit yourself and you're like, and you touch it and you're like, right, is there or is there not going to be blood on my finger when I come back?
It always
so
feels like
it always feels like there's going to be like, you're just going to touch your brain.
Just claret everywhere.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah. So I just walked off to the toilet and swilled water around my mouth and held a tissue on my face for a bit. I was just so pissed off. I just went and sat down. I was just like,
just take a minute.
Pissed off.
At least you chinned it though. I did that, but not for like hipping pull-ups. I think I was trying to do a bar muscle up and I had no idea how to do a bar muscle up, but I was trying to do a really explosive pull-up for some reason. The only thing I can think of was that I was trying to do a bar muscle up.
Yeah.
But no one had shown me how to do it. And I think I was in the power cage in the gym in Barcelona. And I'm pretty sure there was no space above the cage to do the muscle up into. So that's why I'm thinking, was I doing the muscle up? But I must have been. And I pulled up. But I pulled up in such a way that I didn't really go up. I went back, and I went back far enough to full speed headbutt the bar behind.
Oh, God.
And that cut my head, like put a massive cut in my head. I was like properly concussed. I thought I was in Star Wars or something going home. Like, it's like I was on a speeder bike trying to go through the tunnels and everything coming out of bus. And that was not good. That was a proper whack. And I had a proper massive lump.
And then
bleeding in my head.
So my friend messaged me later on and said, how you doing? And I was like, well, I can't really eat or drink anything without pain. So I'm like, I'm trying to drink a coffee and I'm in pain. He was like, oh, it's the one luxury that you afford yourself and you can't even do that. And I was like, yeah, it felt like somebody had hit me in the face with a metal bar, because that's actually what happens. It's like, yeah, I did that. I hit myself in the face with a metal bar. And then he started telling a story. He said he went on holiday once and he burnt his mouth on some food or something, and then he couldn't eat for the rest of the holiday. So I obviously tried to one-up him and told him about the time that I went to Egypt, had an Egyptian barbecue, and then like 3 days into the holiday, then had explosive diarrhea, going to like Cairo, in the pyramids, just holding my guts together, in the antiquities museums, just like absolute carnage, just shitting everywhere that I could. So I had this barbecue, and he said, mate, that sounds terrible. And I said, at the time I was in denial.
But I thought you were going to tell the story of when you went to Egypt and they blew the hotel up next door.
Oh yeah, well that was later on.
I thought that's what you were going to say.
Yeah,
it was like, yeah, I went to a hotel and you're saying that you couldn't eat anything or whatever.
No, I just had to,
well, they blew my hotel up. How's that for a story?
Yeah, that was worse. But that was definitely scarier than having the diarrhea. Yeah, I had to drink rehydration salts and hide in the bathroom from a terrorist bombing, so that was quite bad.
I can't beat the terrorist bombing, but I had the same problem in the Vatican when I went to Rome, that I had a street pizza and we went no, exactly the same
street problem. Pizza. I hope it was like from a street vendor, not just a pizza you found in the street.
I just scooped it up. To be honest, at the time I was probably in street pizza mode. If there's like any source of calories, then that will do. Yes, so I bought a pizza from a licensed street vendor of food goods, ate the pizza, felt okay, and then we decided we would go to the Vatican. Went to the Vatican, which is like way out of Rome. That's not really relevant. On the way there, I felt okay, got into the Vatican, and you start going around, and it's all like a one-way street, so you can't go back to come out, and started to not feel very good. And was going through the Vatican, and you climb up something. There's some dome, some famous dome. I don't know what dome it is. Vatican. Yeah. You go up that thing, and I'm steaming up over it, laughing about the pizza. Went up the dome and started to feel really rough. But you can't run, like, because you're in the house of God or whatever. You can't run or say anything. So I'm having to be quiet and try not to blow.
And meanwhile, your stomach's going.
Yeah, my stomach is just going. Let me out of here. So. Long story short, it was going mental, and managed to get down very slowly out of this place, like holding it in, and then got literally out of God's house onto the doorstep and just rainbow spray everywhere. That was great. Disgusting, man.
You find out cool. A lot. I was thinking of
all the places. I was thinking, what I do not want to do is yak everywhere in the Vatican. That would be bad. Yeah.
Well, it could have been worse. Imagine if you'd have been camping, because that would have been intense.
A friend of mine at school did do that. That was bad. That was not cool. And what was even less cool was when someone woke him up and laughed at him, he threw it out of the tent at the guy who woke him up.
God,
that was not cool. That was really bad.
Yeah, the best thing about those dad jokes is that's probably the third time I use them this week, so I'm getting my quota.
Yeah,
you've reacted the best to them, to be honest. I got looks. Well, I just got looks.
I'm that sort of age, aren't I? That's up my street now.
I got like someone had a bad smell up their nose. My first when I told the tense one.
It's funny, man. You got to set it up as well. That's quite a good setup.
Yeah, thanks.
Well,
again, I'm not a professional comedian either.
No, but you're better than me, so that's good. At least one of us is funny.
Yes.
What else? I listened to some cool podcasts at the weekend.
Yeah.
I listened to a really cool one, probably one of the coolest podcasts I've ever listened to.
Was that the Jocko one?
It was, yeah, Jocko and Hicks and Gracie, just about his life growing up in the Gracie family, just like a complete warrior, but like incredible stories about when they used to go around to other people's gyms and challenge people, and then the Japanese came over and brought like this huge crew over to fight. I think it wasn't, they wanted to fight him, but he didn't want to, something like that. And this Japanese crew came over with a load of camera guys, and they wanted to like document this famous Japanese guy fighting with him. And he was like, yeah, we'll fight, but not with a camera. So like they asked the guy to come in, lock the door behind him with the camera, and said, yeah, we'll do it in here, and just like then rolled over this Japanese guy completely, like steamrolled him with all these Gracies inside.
It sounds like every Ip Man film.
It's so crazy, but it is like something out of a film. But they were doing it in real life all the time, going around to these gyms and having these challenge fights and fighting people on the beach, and like awesome story, like crazy stories about his family's growing up. It was also really interesting. He was talking about his dad, or his dad and his uncle basically wanted to have like this Gracie army. So they had various women who were like the parent or mums of their kids have like loads and loads of kids. And I can't remember how many kids they said. It's like, because there's loads of Gracies, isn't there? Loads of these famous Gracies. There was like 17 kids or something like that from all these different mums, and they were like exchanging kids, and like one of them gave a kid to the other guy because he wanted a boy and he didn't have a boy, so he like gave him a little Gracie in the family to look after. Yeah, really crazy story, like, well worth listening to. Really good. And that one, and a really awesome one about ADHD by, I think it's called Huberman, who is a Stanford professor, and then does like every week, like a 2-hour talk on some topic. Insane, the information you can get. Good information and bad information, not from the internet, but you can just go on YouTube and get like a 2-hour lecture about ADHD or whatever you want from a Stanford professor. I think it's absolutely crazy and really good, really interesting.
Do you think if you had ADHD that you would struggle to listen to a 2-hour lecture about it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And that was really interesting, because I was like, I've been struggling for a bit to like really concentrate as hard as I used to be able to concentrate. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I've got like a little bit of that. But then they were talking about it, and some of the things were quite familiar. Like they were saying that people with ADHD, if they're interested in something, can concentrate really intensely and focus on that thing, like absolutely exclusively on that thing when they're interested. But which I can do. When they're not interested, then obviously they can't pay attention to it. But when they're not interested, they will, like in a 5 or 6 minute period, get up 10 times or something like that, because it's so extreme. It's
so boring.
Think, wow. Yeah, I haven't got that. Like I can pay attention for more than
like on a Zoom call.
Yeah, but they were talking.
I don't care about this. Bye.
They're talking in the podcast about the difference between like dopamine system and these like default network and task networks in the brains of normal people. And these two networks are not correlated. And I couldn't really follow this bit about what is the point of the default network and what is the point of the task network, but they basically run the part of your brain that lets you pay attention. And in people who can pay attention in a normal way, these two things are out of sync. In someone who's got ADHD, these two systems are in sync, so they don't like work very well with like the flow of concentration, apparently. And then if you
Right.
have dopamine, there's like a lack of dopamine in the system because it stimulates some neurons that are dealing with these networks. And when you have someone with ADHD, they can have low dopamine, so these systems aren't working. And they then take a drug to stimulate dopamine, and it makes these systems work, and then they can concentrate. But they were talking about people who have ADHD have like effectively amphetamine and speed to deal with this issue, and you would think that would make them, you know, much more hyperactive and make them not want to sit down. But because it releases this dopamine in the system and arranges these networks in the correct way and makes them fire in the correct way, it actually helps them. But if I took amphetamine, I would be absolutely bouncing off the walls.
Is that what Ritalin is?
Yeah, Ritalin and Adderall are like derivatives of amphetamine.
Get some of that. Or just get some hydroxycut hardcore again. That'll smooth you out.
Yeah, well, it was really interesting because they were talking about doses and things like that. And, you know, like, I like drinking coffee, but when I drink coffee, because everyone always say when they drink coffee, they can focus more. But when I drink coffee, I can't focus. I focus less.
Too jittery.
Yeah, so I think like my dopamine system is probably like fully charged up already. And then when I drink something like that, it either like overstimulates it or puts everything out of whack, which is really interesting to hear, because I couldn't really put the systems together. It just didn't make sense, because you think, well, the like conventional wisdom is you drink a coffee and then you can focus because of the caffeine in it, or whatever that does. But it does the opposite to me. And I was thinking, well, that's weird. And I didn't really think about, like, could it be dose dependent, or maybe if I just had a really small coffee, that would help. But laying off the coffee completely, like I was saying about before, really made a big difference.
Yeah.
And being aware of that as well, being aware of like that trigger was pretty interesting. I'll probably watch that podcast again. That was good. And then I started watching this Atomic Habits one just now, which is also really cool. So I'd like to read that book. So that's super.
I thought you'd read that book.
No, Mum's got the book, and she said it was interesting, but I didn't take the book. So I was just listening to this podcast, and he's only just started, something like half an hour into it, but he's talking about 4 cues of habits and other little notes did I make. Some pretty cool notes.
Yeah, some good stuff on like reward systems and things like that.
Yeah,
and
like,
like,
this was really cool. I
thought stacking habits with other things that you do.
All right.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I can't remember because I've slept since then.
One cool thing in there was any results in your life are a lagging measure of your habits. So like your bank account is a lagging measure of your financial habits, and your weight, for example, is a lagging measure of your fitness habit. So if you're not making progress in those areas, then you need to look at those habits in relation to fitness or diet or whatever. It's really,
I remember him talking about lagging. Really
cool.
Say it.
Yeah. And also super cool, which I thought was cool about just what we do with GA, is we write the books we need ourselves. Because I always think, like, when I'm writing about these things, thinking everybody must know this, everybody must know this. But actually, it's cool to think like you remind yourself about the things.
Yeah.
Like you can remind yourself about topics, because I need to do that all the time. And I'm like constantly having to remind myself, okay, look, stick to this good habit, do this thing, go downstairs, train, focus. I constantly remind myself, thinking, why do I need to remind myself all the time? But it's more common than you think. It doesn't just stick, does it? Until it's a proper habit, I suppose. So I need to listen to that podcast and get that book. But then it winds me up, because I think, well, I listen to so many podcasts and read so many books, and in the end you need to just do it, don't you? Like, what, you're waiting for the thing to click, but it's basically just like, just get on with it. Just get on with it.
Yeah, ram it down their throats. Get out there, get in amongst it.
Get out there. So that was cool. So some super cool podcasts at the moment, because I've gone off a little bit the old ran out of Frisella ones, really. Really get quite fired up with those. But these ones are just super interesting. And I like to learn about new things. And the ADHD one was super cool. That was really interesting. I can't remember any of it now.
No, that's my problem. I listened to that. I'm listening to a couple of hours of that Atomic Habits book. And at the time I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, you're listening to it, right? Okay. Yeah, I think that also...
I don't read.
Yeah, I think that doesn't help, because I think I retain it when I read. And I was reading something else the other day about how to retain information when you read, because when I was studying at university, I didn't have a background in any of the things I studied, so I didn't have that sort of knowledge base built up to then add the new concepts on, and it would all make sense. So to study the things, I basically had to read the book from start to finish, and then literally write the book down again. And I was listening to this on like David Goggins' podcast, and he learned a dive manual from start to finish, 1,000 pages. He got it 14 months before his test, and he wrote it out 14 times, I think. The 1,000 pages, and just basically learning it. And I didn't realize, but I did that at university because I didn't understand these things. So I did all the questions in the books, wrote all the questions out each time, did all the questions again. And then when I saw the question, I could recognize the structure of the question. I knew what the process was to do the question. I didn't really realize I learned that way, because obviously it takes a long time.
I did that. I did that for a financial qualification when I was a bit younger, because it was just a manual full of finance stuff. Oh God, so dull. But I had to read it. I read a page, and then I wrote it down, and then I read the next page and read, God, that was horrific.
I used to write down as well all of basically everything that the lecturer would say. I would write it word for word. I would write it down. And I think the action of writing it down for some reason would make me remember it, which is crazy, because if I didn't write it down, I wouldn't remember anything. Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. Yeah,
I have the unfortunate ability to instantly forget like a whole page. Like I will see the words, and I'll get to the end of the page, and having seen the words, and none of it's gone in. I couldn't tell you. I think
that's the interesting thing about the podcast that I was listening to, is basically saying, like, to retain it, you have to pay attention to it and write it down and write some notes about it. Otherwise, you don't retain the information. You just see the information and you just go through it. So that was pretty cool. Because I thought maybe it was just me just reading it and just like not really listen to it. The other thing I think is a problem is that's the first time tonight, I think, when I've actually sat down and I wanted to watch some of that Atomic Habits so we could talk about it. The first time I've actually sat down and purposely tried to watch a YouTube video without going to the comments. Because what I normally do is start the thing and I can hear it, and then for some reason I go to the comments and start looking at the comments. And then you don't take anything in. You read a load of nonsense about the video, and you don't actually pay attention to the video, which has got the thing in that you wanted to learn about. So that was quite refreshing. I was just sitting and just watching the video because of this other Atomic Habits thing, and then because of the ADHD thing. I was thinking, oh yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense. Like, don't try not to jump between comments and just pay attention to this thing. And then over time, you build up that skill again of being able to pay attention.
It's hard.
It's really hard. And they're also talking about this in the ADHD podcast. And I think this is common sense anyway, but just to hear someone else talk about it, obviously, like, drives it home, is that there's so many information sources now, like we talked about before, and so many different places that it can create ADHD in adults, like a form of, because you're constantly switching between all these information sources, so you can generate in yourself just by having all these types of information. And then that's why you're looking at all those things at once, isn't it? Like, I'm watching the YouTube video, I'm interested in the video, instead of actually paying attention to the video and letting that information go in, I'm like, comments. Looking at comments, got the other phone doing this. It's like, well, no wonder you don't take anything in, because your brain can't actually concentrate on anything, can it?
I think really
it's like a light bulb moment. Really,
I think, you know how like phones and apps and websites are all designed to deliver that little hit of dopamine, aren't they? Like when you get that like, or when you see that thing, they're all designed for that. So your brain is searching for that bit, and if it doesn't get that straight away, it starts to think, well, where can I get that from? And then you're looking for something else. So like I'll be watching TV, and the bit that I'm watching might not be immediately interesting or engaging, so then I'll think, oh, well, I can quickly do something else whilst that bit is on, and then I'll like start scrolling and looking for something to entertain me, and I'm like, well, I'm being entertained. Like right now, this is entertaining. This is part of the whole thing that somebody has spent time doing and making to entertain me. And I'm like, well, I don't need to focus on that bit, so I'll scroll through this. The only way I found recently that I can really pay attention to like a film or a series is if I watch a foreign film and have the subtitles on.
All right, because you read it. Yeah, you have to read it.
I have to read it to understand what's going on.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I can't then pick up my phone. And it's mainly phone. Like if I'm having a conversation, like if I can have a conversation and my phone be somewhere else, it's so much better, because I'll just be so tempted just to pick it up or look at it and just go, oh, I've got a message, or oh, something's going on, or something, what else is happening? I'm just not present thinking about what I'm actually doing.
Well, the thing is, because it satisfies that, like you say, this sort of primal wiring for either like attention or gratification or some sort of pleasure trigger, because it could be there, couldn't it? And that's like when the message goes ping, that's what you automatically go to it for, isn't it? To see like, oh, someone's paying attention to me, or someone's saying hello, or something interesting is happens, and it takes your attention off what's actually happening. So,
and that is like proper deep rooted. I think it goes back to when you're like in like little tribes and things, and you're trying to gain
biggest status in the tribe,
gain the affection of your tribe, or have that status in the tribe, or be accepted by a tribe of people, and you like do the same things that they do and like the same things that they like.
To fit in, isn't it? It's about social acceptance, isn't it?
But unfortunately we completely fuck up the actual social interactions that we have, because half of people's faces are buried in their phones most of the time.
Which is,
it's good that when you find somebody to talk to, like outside of work, like, because I don't do it at work, like if I'm in a work situation, I wouldn't be like on my phone going, but you find somebody like outside of work that you have a conversation with, you find them that interesting, or the conversation is that good, that you actually realize that you haven't even thought about your phone like the whole time you've been talking about it. That's pretty cool.
Really cool to look for some more of those. But I think as well, the other things, you have to be actively then looking for either new sources of information to talk about with somebody, or learn something new, don't you, to actually drive
to then talk to
come to the conversation with nothing, don't you? So it's a bit of a loop, isn't it? Because if you spend the time on the phone looking for these like instant sources of gratification, like some, I don't know, something funny or some stupid video or whatever, but there's no actual content there, is there, to learn anything meaningful from, or that then you can drive another conversation with. Then when you're in that situation where you could have a real life conversation, you've got nothing to talk about.
You show them the cat meme.
Right. Well, that is it.
Have you seen this cat meme?
You're into the and then you're into the same loop, aren't you? You're into that same feedback loop of just looking at your phone again, because that's the only place you can get that gratification from, because you can't have a proper conversation. So pretty crazy, but super cool for the information you can get. Just the bit that comes with it, all the rest of that stuff comes with it, is just so cleverly designed to take advantage of, like you say, like your hardwired need for that social.
And then you think, like bonkers, man. That's like phones and apps are doing that, but it's everywhere is doing that. TV's doing that. Supermarkets are doing that. Like everything is doing that. every single like interaction that you have.
It's designed to engage you, or to spend money, or
it's designed to push the little button that your little monkey lizard brain likes, and go beep 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 beep, and then start spending money in that place.
It's crazy.
I wish we knew how to do that, because I could do with shifting some of these.
Do get some gear.
Mint t-shirts. So these hoodies. I've actually got a decent deal.
www.garagebuildathlete.com.
There you go. I've got a decent little order to print up, actually.
Cool thing in that Jocko podcast was they talked about this Musashi warrior code. We could talk about that next time. That'd be cool.
Because we wanted to do a short one.
And now we've stretched it out. I did actually have loads of cool stuff that I watched this weekend, or listened to while I was doing the bicycle and while I was training. Listen to some cool podcasts. That was good. But now I need to review them, because if we're actually going to talk about them, I need to talk about them in some sort of coherent way. Just random.
And I can't remember. I'm better just when I make stuff up, to be honest. And all I can think of now, since I said it, is I need to do my fucking rehab. Because I just said, when I said out loud I hadn't done my rehab, I was like, just do your rehab, you fucking useless prick.
Now you gotta go to rehab. She said no. Yes. I need to train, but it's too late. So
it is late. But I still need to do my rehab.
Rehab you can do, but I've got to go and deadlift and then do 8 million sets of squats and then a bunch of other stuff. So that is going to get dealt with tomorrow. I said this is the atomic habit I need to fix. This is the atomic habit I need to fix, is go to bed on time. Because that was in the ADHD thing as well. Like all of these things all hook up and link together, don't they? Like the dopamine you get from training helps you concentrate. The sleep that you get the night before means that you can get up and think straight and think, yeah, actually, I should go and train. I'm in a good mood. So you actually do the training. Then once you start getting in that good atomic habit, then the habits build and stack, don't they? Like all these things all link together. And you let one brick come out, and then the whole thing falls down.
You need like an EMP, don't you? Like 9 p.m. just an EMP just takes out every electrical gadget in your house.
Knock me out,
just
man.
like
just go
turn the lights off. Nothing works. Computer's gone. Phones doesn't work.
Just disabling me. But you know what? Even if I had that, I think I'd probably just sit in the dark and not go to bed for some reason. Like, what is the matter with my brain? It's like, you need to go to bed. You need to go to bed. You've got to get up tomorrow at 5:30 in the morning. The alarm's going to go off. You're going to wake up. You're going to hit snooze twice. Then you're going to go, you need to get up. Then you're going to get up. And I'm going to like mooch around a bit because I'm tired because I didn't go to sleep on time. It's like, oh, you only got to do that one thing right, and then everything snowballs after it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Get up straight away. That's the key. No snooze. As soon as that.
It's difficult though, isn't it? When I think the problem is what I find is if I don't sleep well on that first wake up, my brain isn't thinking, get up. My brain is thinking, God damn, I'm tired. And then the option to get more sleep, to not be tired, is right there in front of me, not get up. Like it's just too much sleep pressure there. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah, especially when it's dark in the mornings as well.
I don't really have a problem with that, with like the darkness or it being warm or whatever. I just don't feel very good. Because we're talking about maybe like 5 hours sleep or something like that. So I just don't feel. You know what I mean? So she gets whacked on the snooze and then everything stacks up on top of that.
Snooze disable.
Just try it every day. Yeah, but then you're in trouble, aren't you? Snooze disable, then what happens? You press stop and don't get up. So it all comes back to go to bed. So basically get the sleeping, because then literally, if I've had enough sleep, I cannot sleep. Like I'll just lying there like right now. And
I feel bad with too much sleep. I feel worse if I have more sleep.
I think there though, you're talking about, for me, it would have to be something like 9 hours or something like that to make me actually feel bad. Like I never get into a 10 hour or 12 or anything like that stretch, because that's just my back starts to feel bad and stuff like that.
Get bed sores.
On like 5 to 6 is not good, and then in the 7 region we're doing all right, but for 7 to work it needs to be like in bed now and getting up.
Let's go. Let's go to sleep. Let's go nap. Every podcast for about the past month, there's been both me and you just both really fucking tired.
Only because we're tired.
Maybe we should do one at like 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 till 8 a.m.
Let's do a morning one.
Work starts.
Yeah, we could do that. We'll try.
Or a lunch break one. If you get a lunch break.
Also, could work. Might be a bit more switched on there, because I do notice the old brain performance goes down in the evening for sure. Not quite so switched on. Although today I haven't been too bad. Not too bad. Now I'm going to make some notes about all these things, because I'm listening. Now that I found these other really cool podcasts, I'm super excited about that Huberman one. That's really, really cool.
Cool.
He's done a lot of different ones, I think, and really is really well delivered as well. So it's really cool.
Pull the trigger on it. Let's stop talking about ending this podcast and end this podcast.
Sleep, bad boy. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And if you click those buttons, you'll get a little hit of dopamine. It's on the back there. And that'll feel fucking fantastic. And your little brain will just go beep, beep, beep.
Right in the gizzard.
Want more. And then you'll watch next week and you'll like that one. And then it'll go boop, 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 again.
Well, those synapses will be firing.
So do it. Do it. You know, it makes sense.
Cylinders.
Pick up one of these mint hoodies whilst you're at it.
Yeah.
And
one of these bad boys.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, right. Let's end this on this mental note.
Bye, potato.
See you later, mate. Bye.
Bye, bye.